Hey, Biff, you there? A couple of things. First of all, that news story just reminded me. There is a UFO clip. I think it might even be number one or something in Wise Brothers. Just that story they did on ABC about these Air Force people seeing UFO. I might use that later on. I wasn't going to, but now that I'm thinking about it, I might just kind of be aware of that. Number two, I want to use that Twitter cut from Justice fairly early in the show. I sent it to you last night, I think. And number three, last couple of days, Kayleen's had too many spots scheduled at this top of the hour break. We should only have like 60 or 90 seconds of actual ads in here, so just make sure that she hasn't overscheduled this break as well, okay? Okay, and good morning, too. That's all. I just heard that UFO thing got me thinking. I didn't pull it out, and I think I might, so just something to think about, possible for later.
Life is better on a Honda. Honda recommends ATVs for riders 16 years and older and recommends that all ATV riders take a training course.
As we slowly approach spring, ISA-certified arborists want those of you with fruit trees to know that most varieties should be pruned in late winter before their buds start to open. But pruning fruit trees is very different than pruning other trees. In fact, some of the techniques are the exact opposite. To find out more about pruning fruit trees for a bountiful harvest, contact an ISA-certified arborist near you by going to treesforohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
Thank you for riding with the Watchdog. Live and local, just the way you like it.
Live and local conversation for the Ohio Valley continues shortly, here on the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
My little girl hurt her foot and needed a doctor fast, but her physician wasn't available, and I wanted her seen as soon as possible. Then I remembered the Wheeling Hospital Urgent Care, right in downtown Wheeling at the Stone Center on Market Plaza. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day, the center is ideal if you have a sudden sickness or injury. The doctors and nurses were great, and they also provided x-rays, a pharmacy, and lab draw station. No appointments needed, and convenient parking is nearby. Wheeling Hospital Urgent Care. They'll take good care of you.
Are you struggling to make payments due to an unexpected financial obligation or loss of income? Are you receiving calls from debt collectors? Are you feeling overwhelmed and unsure of what steps to take next? Then you need the experience and expertise of attorney Tom McIntyre and his staff to help guide you through these temporary hardships. Want to hear more about how Tom can help? Then call 877-456-4155 and receive a free copy of Tom's ebook, When Bad Things Happen to Good People. Tom's ebook covers many questions people have about bankruptcy and includes interesting stories about people who tried to avoid filing and people who have filed for bankruptcy. We think you'll be surprised to learn some interesting facts about bankruptcy. Call 877-456-4155.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker Darnell Foster with a look at your local weather forecast for your Thursday. Mostly sunny skies, daytime high of 42, your overnight low of 24 with just a few clouds around. You'll see plenty of sunshine around for your Friday with highs in the lower to mid 40s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Launch control, this is Houston. We are go for launch.
You're early.
Roger that.
It's Thursday.
Why even call it Thursday? Problem? We have pizza on Thursday.
Places, please. Quiet down.
Here's a complete disc jockey show with all the modern pace of today's exciting radio.
Good morning. Let's get started.
Seriously, let's go.
It's showtime.
News, information, conversation, controversy, and fun. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
Degrees at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. Wind blowing around about 5 miles an hour. Not a huge amount, but just enough to dip the feels like temperature down to 25. So it's a cool morning this morning. 30 at the airport, 30 here at my home studios, 30 at the Robinson Auto Group Studios downtown Wheeling in the heart of the Ohio Valley. Boy, what a great day it was, though, yesterday, Biff. I mean, Zach called it just right. I'll have to ask him or maybe he said on the Big 7, you heard, I don't know, but I know we got over 60, I think, yesterday. I don't know what the high was, but it was a nice warm day yesterday. How'd you do anything? Did you feel like you wanted to go golfing at least?
Not really, once the wind blew in the afternoon.
Yeah, well, that was,
with the gusts.
That was enough, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it still wasn't, it didn't feel like a 60, 61 or whatever the high was up at the airport. It did in the morning, but not in the afternoon. When the afternoon hit and it got to about 2 or 3 and it started raining and the wind gusted close to probably 30 miles an hour, that it didn't feel, like a 60-degree day then.
See, I didn't notice that. I'm a creature of habit, and so I'm still in my wear my winter jacket mode. Every time we go out, I just grab the winter coat. That's what I've had on for the last month or so, whatever. So I grabbed my winter jacket and went outside. In fact, I followed my wife. She says, "Oh, you're not going to need that." I said, "It's what I have. It's here. I'm not going to dig in the cupboard for something else. Just put it on." But I stood outside and was like, "Okay, that's not the smartest thing in the world." It was just, I thought it was really, really warm. I loved it. Teddy and his friends at school got to play in the mud. Oh God, did they play in the mud?
They're kids. That happens.
They played in the mud so much one day this week, the teachers sent an email before we picked them up saying, you may want to bring some extra clothes. Don't be surprised if your children have different clothes on than when you brought them in the morning. Because we went outside and the children seemed to enjoy rolling down the muddy hills. So, but you're right, Biffy. Kids do like nothing more than playing in the mud. So. And Teddy he was a little muddy, not terribly so. He did have a different pair of boots on than he went with. Why do you have new boots on? My other boots were too bad, Granddad. Okay. But it makes me, I don't know, muddy hills, muddy kids, not having to wear my winter jacket. Your comments about the gusting winds notwithstanding, Biff, I feel like we're heading towards spring. I feel like we're making progress. I feel that way.
I think we got a little taste yesterday, but...
Exactly. What do you have, 20, I think Zach said yesterday, 25 days, is that right? So 24 days left to go till spring? Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So we're getting there sooner than later, COVID beginning to diminish a lot. Story in the Intel today about how the numbers are going down. We've been talking about it ourselves here for a while. Even though we hit that horrible 500,000 death milestone this week, COVID numbers going down, positive test results declining, hospitalizations declining. More and more of us are getting vaccinations. I feel that breath of real air coming through. You know what I'm saying, Biffy? I just feel like maybe it's coming.
Oh, there are definitely signs. It's there.
Going to be under regulations, but of course, sports or basketball back again in West Virginia in about 2 weeks. Less than 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, next Wednesday, girls basketball can start in West Virginia, and then the boys can start on Friday the 5th. So 6 for the girls and 8 days away for the boys, and West Virginia will be back at it as Ohio right now. They continue, I believe over there they call it sectional play and then district play is what Ohio does. I think that's what it is. I think it's sectional first, then district. So they continue playoff action over in Ohio, and next week West Virginia will be starting.
So that's all good. And the MEC tournaments are gearing up. I heard the commissioner, my old friend Reed Amos, on with Mayor Elliott and Chad Thalman yesterday on the mayor's show here on the Watchdog. It's gearing up. Well, just a couple weeks away too, right?
Actually, I think the MEC tournament is next weekend.
Next week, okay.
Yeah.
Right. At West Banco Arena. So, I don't know. Again, maybe I'm optimistic. And the weather helped a little bit yesterday. I'm feeling like, could we finally be working our way to the end of all of this madness? There's a long way to go. Long way to go. I was talking online last night with some people who just got their vaccine and said, I can hardly wait to run out and go do something. I said, I've got my second vaccine, but I'm still making sure I wear the mask everywhere, and I'm still not going to run into a lot of big public places, vaccinated or not. But I feel like we're getting closer and closer, Biff. I can feel lunch coming. You know what I'm saying? I can feel lunch coming.
That's definitely a good sign when that happens.
That excites me, that's for sure. 7:16 here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Where are we going today? Well, Governor Justice held another town hall, put those in air quotes, town hall. It was either Stephen Adams or Brad last night who on the Twitter feed said, can you have a town hall if the town isn't invited?
Good point.
But he held another of his town halls online last night about the proposed income tax reduction. So I watched it. I was curious to see, is it conceivable that he might have something of substance to say? Well, the answer is no. I mean, absolutely no more details about what the plan entails than we had before. He says he's going to send his income tax reduction plan to the legislature today. But as of last night, he had absolutely no details beyond what we've heard before. He wants to cut the income tax. He wants to raise the sales tax. And yes, he repeated a week or so ago, earlier this week, I guess it was, Brad McElhaney said, I think I heard him say anywhere from 1.5% to 1.9%. But it was kind of like, maybe I'm wrong about that. But he made it quite clear yesterday. He was talking about raising the sales tax from 1.5 to 1.9%. So it's possible it could go as high, in the governor's mind, as 1.9%. And then at one point he was talking, somebody who's watching sent a question in, are we going to have a 10% sales tax? And why heavens no, it will never be 10%. Won't ever be 10. And I'm thinking, all right, let's do some quick math here. 6.5 already. Add 1% in the city of Wheeling at 7.5, right? Add another 1.9%. Let's call it 2. So 7.5 and 2 is 9.9%. I mean, that's pretty close to 9.5. That's pretty close to 10%. I wonder if the governor even thinks about that there are other cities that have already their own municipal tax added on to the state tax. And once again, when the question was raised, well, what about people going across the border? What about people in cities like Wheeling and Moundsville who can just grab, a bridge and go across and do some shopping across the other place? It's only, what is it, Biffy, from your house to the Ohio Valley Mall? 12 minutes, something like that?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing. We do it anyways. Forget the taxes. We do it anyways. Go to Melman's because I just want to go to Melman's. It's not that big a deal to make that drive. And if there's a huge disparate difference in taxation, it will certainly drive people to go across the river. And so someone said once again, but what about these border counties? And he said, now don't worry about that. Once again, the governor says, don't worry about that. Yeah, you're probably going to see people go across the river. It's expensive. But don't forget all those people in Ohio, they're going to come and want to move to West Virginia because we have no income tax. I like to do a survey of people in St. Clairsville How many of you intend to move to West Virginia because of the income tax? But the answer isn't much. Anyways, I got a lot more to say about the governor's town hall meeting last night. And I love the one quote he had. He said, I'm almost never wrong. I'm almost never wrong. Wow. I mean, just wow. We heard an awful lot about how he saved the Greenbrier, which he did, and I give him credit for that. What's that been, 20 years ago, Biff? 15 years ago?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
I mean, it's not like that's not news. I mean, he did that, and it's good, and I commend him for it. But it's hardly something to hang your hat on now if you're talking about this income tax reduction. Anyways, I've got a lot to get into on this, and we'll talk more about that coming up. The legislature is continuing to erode the authority of local governments. A House committee is recommending eliminating the user fees in many cities. Now, originally, you might recall, we talked about this. Some of the delegates discovered that some cities were charging user fees, and they felt, well, why should state employees have to pay these fees? We're going to exempt state employees from city user fees. Of course, the user fee is designed to gather income from everybody who works in the city and benefits from the city services, who might have to be picked up by a city ambulance, who drives on city roads, who needs city water in their business, who relies on the police to come if they're attacked or something. That's the idea. It doesn't matter where you live. If you work in the city of Wheeling, you benefit from city services, so you pay the user fee. Yes, I understand some people disagree with that. But here's the reality. The user fee in the city of Wheeling is built into the budget in a significant way. I mean, a significant way. It's funding police, funding infrastructure, among other things. And yesterday, a House committee went beyond just saying state workers should be exempt. They just said, let's make it a statewide mandate, no city user fees. I happened to be with the mayor at the time. You want to talk about a guy who was going berserk? He was not happy to hear that. I said, Mr. Mayor, did you know what they're talking about? I know what they're talking about. I was listening. I heard. I was yelling at the walls. I said, well, would you like to yell at me? Because we could do it on the radio. Yes, I have some things to say about this. So Mayor Elliott coming in to talk about, in general, the session, in particular, this user fee that they're talking about getting rid of the user fee. That's a gigantic problem for the city of Wheeling. Gigantic problem for the new police headquarters. Gigantic problem for the downtown parking garage. Gigantic problem for a lot of things. So we'll talk about that with the mayor coming up a little bit later on. And we have not talked with him for a couple of weeks, so I figured it's about time to visit with the Puppet Master, 3rd District Delegate Sean Fluharty. I asked him, I said, Sean, are you having fun down there? He said, we're getting our asses beat. That's what he said. So the Puppet Master in today to share his frustrations and concerns with a lack of comedy and transparency, among other things. In the legislature yesterday, the intermediate court moved ahead. Charter school bill got slightly modified. They're still talking about divisiveness not being allowed in the schools and no sexuality being taught in the schools. We'll get into that. Outside of the legislature, will Donald Trump be back in the White House next week? I mean, the answer, of course, is no, of course he's not. But there are some QAnon supporters who have March 4th circled on their calendar as the day Donald Trump takes over once again. I will tell you about that. Also, police reform bill proposed again in the House. We talked about Ithaca, New York, and their community policing proposal, defunding the police, eliminating the police yesterday. A police reform bill proposed again in Congress. We'll get into that. More details with the Capitol insurrection coming out. And in just a moment, Biffy, why don't we update ourselves on Tiger Woods? More info coming out about the Tiger Woods incident. So I got all of this and a great deal more coming up over the course of the next several hours. Hopefully you'll have something you'd like to say. Feel free to text me. You know, the text line is always open, always available to you. 304-214-1600. It's the way you can text in real quick, real fast, real easy. You don't have to spend a lot of time worrying about waiting on hold or waiting to talk to me or arguing with me if you don't want to. You just type your question, your comment, your concern into the text line, and Biff and I will see it, and we will read most of them on the air, even the nasty ones. I always read on the air. Not all of them, but most of the nasty ones I will read on the air. And if you actually would like to talk with me, the CityNet hotline is 304-232-8255, 304-232-TALK. Tiger Woods. We'll talk more about him coming up next on the Watchdog Morning Show.
Listen to the Bill DeFabio Variety Show with Bill DeFabio and Lola Bell.
Surprised.
And we do expect dry conditions overnight, tonight, and all day tomorrow.
Meteorologist Dr. Dave Walker, Aaron Mylar, and me, Zach Petty, the Storm Tracker 7 weather team, working for you.
From the Watchdog Network, right now traffic. Here's the latest from the Robinson Auto Group Traffic Center.
Traffic near the Highlands, on Washington Avenue, and on the Fort Henry Bridge is moving freely. Traffic near the Ohio Valley Mall, on 70 and 470, and on State Route 7 is flowing. The lane width reductions on the eastbound entrance ramp and westbound exit ramp to Wheeling Island will continue. The closure of I-70 from US 250 and West Virginia 2 south, the 16th Street exit to the Ogilvy Park exit for Phase 2 of the Fulton Bridge replacement project will continue. The closure of the US 250 North on-ramp to I-70 East as part of Phase 2 will continue. The Market Street overpass width reduction will continue. I-70 construction will continue westbound where crossovers are in effect. And all existing detours and closures will continue for the I-70 Bridges project. Follow Ohio Valley Traffic Report on Facebook, WTRF7 News, and the Watchdog for updates.
Lansing. The Watchdog is protecting your yard. Join Howard Monroe, Hobby Kercheval, Bill DeFabio, and Big Rick for the best live and local talk in the Upper Ohio Valley and beyond. Lansing trusts the Watchdog.
Watch out! He could climb on his soapbox at any time. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
I feel that there will be some soapboxing going on today about the legislature, in particular about the governor's town hall last night and his lack of details on this income tax proposal and a few other things. So I'm lining up here. Let me just check down here. Let me check that. Yeah, got the soapbox ready. It'll be coming out a little bit later on, so be prepared for that. Hey, if you're watching on Facebook Live, hello. Thank you for being there. I do appreciate it. We're on Facebook Live with a video cast every morning, both Facebook Live on my page, Howard Monroe page, and on the Watchdogs Facebook page. You can listen to either place and watch either place if you choose. You can also watch us on our YouTube channel, and you can just watch us by going directly to watchdognetwork.com, and we flow right onto the website as well. So check things out by watching the video cast. Just looking here. Yeah, I've got a lot of you there. Thank you. I appreciate you you guys checking in this morning here on the Watchdog. Remember, I like to do two things. If you are watching us on the video cast on Facebook, please like us. Hit that like button, just because we like likes. And then hit the share button, most importantly, and share our Facebook Live feed with your timeline, with your news feed, with news groups you're in, whomever you choose to share it with. Hit the share button and share it. Share and share alike. It's a very good Christian thing to do. Share the Watchdog Morning Show with some other folks. You also can comment on the chat section of our Facebook Live page if you would like to. Biff, I still haven't heard too many details about what happened with Tiger Woods, but I guess it was just a one-car accident, right? 2 days ago? He was just driving by himself and lost control of his vehicle. Have you heard anything else beyond that?
Yeah, I mean, that was it. They said he wasn't drunk or impaired. There was no, I think impairment is the word that they use. So the seatbelt and literally saved his life.
Saved his life. Yeah.
Because I mean, if you heard, I think they explained the design of the car and everything, and the airbags. Obviously, they deployed as well, but they did say that he was wearing a seatbelt, and it's probably not probably. It is a good thing he was, because he probably would have been gone. So yeah, I mean, other than that, that's pretty much it. I mean, again, he was going for a photo shoot with a couple of NFL players, and I guess was running late, and that road, I think that's wherever in California he was. It
was Hawthorne Boulevard, but I don't know what that is. I don't know what the road's like or where it is. I know it's Hawthorne Boulevard was the name of the road, though.
It's from what I heard yesterday, it is a pretty treacherous road.
Okay.
So I guess even not with weather conditions, even just in normal conditions, that road is a treacherous road. So haven't seen it, but Tiger just going too fast and
lost
control and hit and rolled basically the length of 2 football fields, 700 feet. And when the paramedics and firefighters got there, they said, he was responding. I mean, he could talk to him and everything, and
you said he was awake and responsive and able to talk to him and tell him what happened and so on.
Yeah. So other than that, I mean, that's all I know, and I guess it's just wait and see what the results say, and the surgery, how the multiple surgeries went, and that's about it.
In a tweet that Tiger himself sent out yesterday, he said that he suffered comminuted, I don't know what that means, open fractures affecting both the upper and lower portions of his tibia and fibula, his legs, and his ankle was shattered as well. None of those things sound good for a future in golf to me. I'm sure they can be repaired. I'm sure you can get back to walking and living a life, but I don't know if you get back to being the greatest golfer of all time again. I don't know if that happens or not.
No, and again, when you're a golfer, you kind of need your legs and everything else. Not only to walk the course, but as part of your golf swing as
your
well.
Your stance and your swing.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
just everything is or mostly is with your legs, and so I mean, we'll see what happens when Tiger gets out, but don't be surprised if everything goes well, and again, we see Tiger at a podium saying, "Hey, I mean, I hate
great run.
I hate to tell you people, but I mean, this is it. I mean, will I still be around? Yeah, maybe I'll be a spectator. Maybe I'll go to a few events here and there, hand out trophy, do whatever. Watch my kid play. I mean, do stuff like that. I mean, hopefully he can at least do that. But yeah, as far as golf career, I think this is the end of it.
And you and I are not alone in speculating that. I've heard a lot of folks who are probably wiser than we are and know more about these kinds of injuries than we do have said the same thing. It's just very, very unlikely that he comes back from these injuries and is able to play golf at anything resembling his old level again. Will he survive? Will he walk? Will he, be able to get around? Yeah, eventually. Although listening to that, open fractures of the upper and lower tibia and a shattered ankle, those things don't repair overnight.
No, and we were fortunate enough to get about 10, 11 good years of golf out of Tiger. I mean, what we saw early on, and kind of somewhat of making a comeback. I mean, he's still.
I would say really we saw it was on 2 cycles, because there was a point there where we thought maybe he was going to fade away anyways, and then he came back.
Yeah, he came back, and I mean, think about it. How appropriate would it be if the last major that Tiger won was the Masters a couple years ago? I mean, what an unfortunate way to have it end, but if I'm a golfer and I'm going to go out on top, probably for me, the one tournament that I would want to last go out on is the Masters.
The Masters.
Just with the golf course at Augusta and all the beauty and everything that surrounds it, and the walk on Amen Corner and all that. I couldn't think of a better way to end my golf career than saying my last major was a win at the Masters.
The sheriff in Los Angeles County has said that there will not be any charges. I've seen a couple of, I'll call them tabloid type reports. I saw somebody trying to suggest that I don't think he was before he left the house, he was distracted. He wasn't paying attention. And there's some people trying to put some kind of blame on him. I don't understand that why. But the Los Angeles County Sheriff said that Tiger will not be facing any charges. I love the phrase, which is true. The sheriff, Alex Villanueva, said, "This remains an accident. An accident is not a crime. They do happen." So don't look for any charges against him. It's just now we're looking to hopefully see him get better and improve. And unfortunately, there will be that, you're right, Biffy, there'll be that podium moment where he'll tell us, or these days, I don't know, maybe it's a tweet that says I'm done. But probably a podium moment that says, hey guys, it's been a great run, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all at, special events and celebrations. And I said, conceivably he can get his legs back working enough maybe to do some like Pro-Am events or something, not on the tour, but just charity kind of things. Maybe that's, I don't know. But we were able to, we lived in interesting times when Tiger was running. When Tiger was on the march, that's for sure. You know what else is on the march? Our gas prices are going up. We'll talk about that in just a bit. Is Donald Trump going to be president again next week? There are some QAnon believers who actually believe that to be true. I have some info for you. And we'll continue talking about the legislature, and I will continue to rant and rave about what is, in my opinion, the single worst legislative session in West Virginia's history. I've got it all coming up here on the Watchdog Morning Show. But first, we got to check some headlines from our friends of the Big Seven and also see what Mr. DeFabio has in sports beyond and above Tiger.
The WTRF Channel 7 News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
Now it's time for your local news headlines from 7 News at WTRF, My Ohio Valley, and ABC Ohio Valley. Only on AM 1600 WKKX, The Watchdog.
Good Thursday morning, Ohio Valley. I'm Stephen Ruffing with your 7 News headlines. Things are looking good on the vaccination forefront. The governor says he is encouraged by the continued success of vaccine administration across the Mountain State. As of this morning, more than 440,000 West Virginians have received at least the first dose of the vaccine. Although testing and vaccinations are up, officials are also excited about a new third vaccine that will soon be available. That third vaccine is from Johnson & Johnson. The FDA has confirmed that Johnson & Johnson's single-dose vaccine is about 66% effective at preventing COVID. They also say it is safe to use. An advisory committee will meet tomorrow to make its authorization recommendation to the FDA. If the shot clears for U.S. use, officials say it will not boost vaccine supplies significantly right away. Only a few million doses are expected to be ready for shipping in the first week. Continuing coverage, nearly half a kilo of crystal meth is off the streets this morning thanks to the Hancock-Brook-Weirton Drug and Violent Crimes Task Force. Their investigation has led to the arrest of 3 individuals on felony offenses for distribution and possession with intent to distribute. In total, 5 people were charged. Along with the half kilo of crystal meth, police also seized approximately $100,000 and a firearm. Now's a look at your headlines. Have a great day, everyone.
Well, the Penguins are in action tonight when they visit the Washington Capitals. Pittsburgh's new management team made its first player acquisition, claiming defenseman Mark Friedman off of waivers from Philadelphia Flyers. By the way, Pittsburgh has used 11 defensemen thus far this season because of injuries. Well, the Wheeling Nailers were in action last night. Maybe lack of action, they lost to Indianapolis by the score of 4-1. The Oakland A's and the Pittsburgh Pirates made a deal. The A's have sent outfielder Dexter Fowler to the Pittsburgh Pirates for cash. NFL insider John Clayton says the Pittsburgh Steelers are out of the running to sign J.J. Watt. Green Bay and Cleveland could be the future home of J.J. Coming up on the Variety Show from noon to 2 to talk about Tiger Woods' orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Dan Schobert, will join me along with Pirate announcer from Bradenton, Florida, Greg Brown, and Pittsburgh Penguins TV analyst Jay Caulfield. Be safe out there. Be considerate of others. Please check on the elderly. I'm Bill DeFabio on sports, and we are and always will be your watchdog.
I'm not buying till I checked on Ford.
Most of us are faced with uncertainty every day. Your job, your finances, sporting events, schooling for your children, and so much more. With so much uncertainty surrounding you, there is one auto dealership that you can be certain about, and that's Doan Ford. You can be certain that you always get a great deal and the best service afterwards. Being in business for over 50 years has given Doan Ford the reputation of being a strong, reliable dealership. Be certain. Choose Doan Ford. Online at DoanFord.com.
I'm not buying till I check Doan Ford.
CA House Music has all the gear to make your music legendary. With all the best gear including Fender, Epiphone, Yamaha, and more, CA House will have you rocking in no time. Get the most for your money with everyday low prices. And we meet or beat internet pricing. Play before you buy and let our product specialists help you pick out the instrument that's right for you. CA House Music, supporting local musicians since 1872. Play music for life.
Now's a great time to go Toyota for reliability, value, and style. And RAV4 is the #1 selling SUV in America over the last year, with available all-wheel drive in gas or hybrid models. Now, get up to $1,000 cash back from Toyota through March 1st. For more offers, shop Toyota's official website for deals. Buyatoyota.com. Then see your Toyota dealer. Go Toyota, and let's go places.
Catch Biff Leonard on the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe. Weekday morning, 7 to 10 a.m. Only on the Watchdog. Live and local talk radio. Just the way you like it.
There's a time and a place for everything, including a different point of view. This is that time and place. You're listening to the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe, brought to you in part by Wheeling Hospital.
The time and the place for the return of Donald Trump may be next week, March 4th. What day is that, Biffy?
March 4th. That would be. I think it's next Thursday. Yeah, it's next Thursday. Yep, March 4th.
A week from today. A week from today.
Yeah.
So if you're a Biden fan, enjoy the next week, because a week from today, next Thursday, Donald Trump returns to being president again. Now, obviously that's not going to happen, but the QAnon believers believe that. I'll tell you why. They've got a specific date. They've got a whole specific thing. These guys are cuckoo, just cuckoo. But I'll tell you about it coming up in the next segment of the show. We'll also talk about the rise in gas prices. But right now, let's talk about the weather. And Zach Petty is here from the Big Seven to talk about that. Good morning, Zach.
Good morning, Howard. How are you, sir?
It was a great day yesterday, I thought. I mean, just felt pleasant outside, very nice, very spring-like. Now, Brother Biff felt there was too much wind in the afternoon to feel spring-like. Felt it was a little too chilly because of the wind, but I just thought it was a nice day. What do we get to? We got over 60, right?
Yeah, 63 was our high at the airport.
That's pretty good. I like that.
Oh yeah, last time we had 60s was oddly enough December 11th of this past winter, which I remember having that brief little warm up in early December, but that was actually the last time we had 60-degree weather.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that early December. Okay. So I thought it was pleasant. I thought it was very nice. I didn't do anything unusual, but we did get out, as we always do, to pick up our grandson and a little ride and some things like that. And it was pleasant. It was nice to see and there were people out. I saw folks jogging in shorts, you know.
I was out in shorts yesterday.
Were you really? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Great day. Sadly, the 60s are gone for the day, right?
Yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to be getting close to that, at least for the rest of the work week. But at least we're going to stay seasonable. And we just have to. I want to keep reminding everyone that yes, it's going to be colder than yesterday, but we should be happy because we're at least back to seasonable weather for the end of February. Because normal highs for this time of year are 42, and I'm only expecting to see highs a degree or two away from that in the low 40s, if not upper 30s, for our high temperature today. So nothing to bat an eye on, but certainly just want to remind that, yes, it's going to be colder than yesterday, and I, for one, obviously want to see that warmer stretch of weather just sticking around, I guess, until all the way to summer. But we are still on the positive. We're still on the up and up for temperatures to continue to climb, and at least the positive news is over the next 7 days that temperatures or high temperatures won't be below the freezing mark, so there's good news to come.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, we'll hit in those 7-degree temperatures that we did a couple of times in the last few weeks. So that's good. Do we get to see any of that big yellow item in the sky today or not?
Oh, that bright yellow orb? Oh, yeah, he'll be back in full force today. Maybe just a couple of clouds lining the skies. High pressure continues to build in from the west, and that'll give us partly cloudy skies, if not clearing fully out by this afternoon. And similar conditions are expected for our finally Friday, mostly sunny, and then we'll continue to stay temperate with high temperatures in the mid to upper 40s for tomorrow. Good rest of the work week. No precipitation on the way until the later stages of your Friday evening.
Now, the weekend temperatures are going to go back up again, back up into the 50s or even higher 50s. So that's good news. But along with that, does there come any rain when the temperatures go up over the weekend?
Yeah, unfortunately, we're going to have to do a little bit of a trade-off. If we want temperatures to go up, well, it looks like we have to allow for Mother Nature to cool us down with a little bit of rain. I'm expecting to see off and on rain showers, and those could start late in the evening time on Friday, and then we're expecting to see a light, steady rain for most of the day with showers off and on Friday, and then Sunday we could continue on with some rain showers as well, and we'll top off the highs in the mid to upper 50s for the weekend.
Now, I think Monday begins the new month, right? Isn't Monday the first day of March?
That is correct, yeah.
Well, we always wonder, the old saying is March comes in like a lamb, goes out like a lion, or vice versa. So what are we expecting March to come in like on Monday?
As of now, it's going to be cloudy and quiet. So I'm expecting it to come in like a lamb at the moment. And again, we're looking a little far out in the future for trying to understand, okay, is there the chance, because I know some models are hinting at more snow. I know the fabled or the cursed S word that Howard, you and I have talked about, because you're about sick of the snow, and actually Steven's the same way. He's about sick of it. And I did look ahead a couple of days into the next.
Get rid of that phrase about. I'm not about sick of it. I am sick of it. I am already well past my sickness stage on this. I want no more. I got what I wanted. I got that little bit of Christmas snow that we talked about back in December. That was great.
Yep.
And I said I always wanted to have like one good big snow in January, February. We had that and then some. I'm done with it. I'm done.
Yep.
No more.
Well, let's say it's gonna come in like a lamb at the moment, but we'll probably have a better understanding of that on Friday as well as extending on. Hopefully Monday we'll have a good peek ahead into what the beginning stages of March look like.
All right. Well, the whole forecast not too bad though.
No.
As you say, seasonable today, maybe a little bit above seasonable temperatures over the weekend with some rain, and then we'll see how March comes in. But at the moment, looking at least a little lamb-like. But again, the flip side of that means it'll go out like a lion. Do you?
Hey, Howard, I got a question.
Sure.
So, Biff and I were talking about whenever I was calling in. I need you to pull some strings for the four of us. And the four of us, I mean you, Biff, myself, and Steven. We need to get in to be judges on next year's wing cook-off that we were that the 7 News was at yesterday, I guess, over at the Wheeling Island. We need you to pull some strings for us to be the celebrity judges. So that way we can just consume a lot of wings.
I think I could probably do that. I think I could probably do that. I often judge food contests. It's just because of COVID this year, I didn't want to get out and do that. But I think by next year, I could probably swing a few. We could be a team. We could be
I think we would be a great team.
Yeah, the Team TV7 Watchdog team or something. Yeah, the judging team. I like that. I think that's a possibility. It's a possibility.
Well, keep that in mind, because Biff and I were talking about that on my call in, and I thought it was a great idea. Steven and I, we were watching the competition on the TV whenever we were watching the news, and the little segment came up, and we were just salivating, looking at all those wings, and like, man, oh man, I could go for some wings right now.
I'm a big wing guy. I mean, so I would love to try some wings. Absolutely. I think we would have worked that out. You know, Biffy, I'm wondering if we're going to have a chili cook-off this year.
Yeah, because that's usually in the first weekend in June.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the earliest events. The first event has already been canceled for the summer, which is the Ogden race, and I get that. That's Memorial Day weekend, but shortly thereafter usually is the chili cook-off. Biff, did they not, actually last year, didn't they at first move the chili cook-off before they canceled it?
Yeah, I think...
I could be wrong about that, but I think they, instead of having it early in June, they bumped it to July or something, I think, and then they eventually canceled all the Heritage Board events.
Yeah, I think they tried a different date and then realized it wasn't going to work, and then it canceled, and then I think actually the Blues Fest was the last one, because I know Bruce tried to hang on for as long as he could, and still had signs of hope for last year, but that didn't work out either. And I think that was the last big one of the festivals that we usually have that was canceled.
Well, Zach, I've been a chili cook-off judge since the chili cook-off started some years ago, and I have become quite a chili connoisseur. So, because whenever I'm invited to be a food judge, well, unless it's vegetables, I won't be a vegetable judge.
I like that.
But otherwise, so I'll work on that. I would like to be a wing judge next year. I think that would be great, and I would love to try them all, every different kind, every different variety. I love different kinds of wings, so we'll see what we can do. See if we can get everybody together and have a little TV7 Watchdog judging team.
That'd be cool. Let's get T-shirts made too.
We could do that. We'll work on that. All right, Zach, I appreciate it. A good suggestion. I'm putting it in my little notebook here, and we'll see if we can work on that once the pandemic is over and we start looking to next year. Or even now, I'll start talking to the folks and say, hey, why don't you just pencil us in? Pencil
pencil the four of us. Just make it a longer panel of judges.
There you go. That's right. You can add judges. Never anything wrong with having extra judges, for God's sake.
Exactly.
Right,
come on.
Appreciate your time today. We'll talk again tomorrow. Thanks a lot.
All right. Yep. Sounds good. We'll see you guys.
All righty. 7 before the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Yeah, I wouldn't mind being a wing judge, right? Would you, Biffy?
No, not at all.
I mean, all flavors of wings. I mean, it's one of my favorite things to do, to go to a place that has all different kinds of varieties of wings and figure out which ones am I going to try. I have my standards and my go-tos, but it's always fun to try something different, so we'll have to see. And I didn't get the details of the who won or how much money was raised for the this, what they call it, the Wing It or something like that for Health Right this week, but I'll have to look that up. I guess TV, apparently from what Zach was saying, TV7 probably had that information, so I'll check it out. 6 before the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. 30 degrees at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. A little bit of light wind, 5-mile-an-hour wind, so it feels like 25 degrees. 30 degrees at the airport, 30 degrees here at my home studios in Elm Grove, 30 degrees at the Robinson Auto Group Studios downtown Wheeling in the heart of the Ohio Valley. Do I need a break, Brother Biff?
We are good.
We are good. Then let's talk about next week. Circle next Thursday on your calendar, March the 4th, next Thursday. It is the day that Donald Trump will be reinstated as president. This according to the folks who follow that QAnon business. Now, you remember the QAnon folks are the folks who thought that when Joe Biden was inaugurated, a swarm of secret agents would arise and arrest Biden and all the Democrats and all the bureaucrats because they all were satanic pedophiles. Remember, that was what they thought was going to happen. It didn't happen. Quite frankly, a lot of the QAnon followers at that point went, is it possible we were fooled? Maybe we didn't. Maybe this wasn't such a smart idea after all. But there are still hardline QAnon people who are sticking around, and they are now waiting until March the 4th. Now, here's their reasoning. Here's what the QAnon people are saying. A secret law. Biff, you probably didn't know this. This is important history for you to know. I bet they didn't teach this at Central. A secret law was passed in 1871, which turned the United States from a country into a corporation. And as a result of this, all presidents after Ulysses S. Grant have been illegitimate presidents, meaning they really weren't the president. So when Trump comes into office again next week, he will become he was 45, right? You think maybe be 46 or 47, depending on how you look at it. No. He'll be the 19th president of the United States when he's inaugurated again on March the 4th. And there are people who believe this, Biff. I mean, there are people who believe this. In fact, some of them were at the Capitol on January 6th with clubs. Why March 4th, by the way? March 4th is when presidential inauguration ceremonies used to take place before it was moved to January 20th, and that was back in 1933. 1933 is the year that it's the year that the U.S. went off the gold standard, and some people, the sovereign citizens, the QAnon folks, they believed that we went off the gold standard because the country was bankrupt. And therefore, the country had to turn itself into a corporation because we couldn't exist as a country anymore. So, there are seriously a group of people who think the next Thursday, Donald Trump will rise from the ashes, come out of Mar-a-Lago, and head to the Oval Office and be there once again. I don't know what happens to again, they lost a huge number of QAnon followers after Biden was inaugurated because they really felt that was not going to happen. They thought that Biden was going to be arrested when the secret army of, I don't know what, rose up and arrested Biden and all the Democrats and all those satanic pedophiles. Remember, these are the folks who also thought that Hillary Clinton was running a child sex ring out of a basement pizza parlor. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. But I don't know what happened. So a lot of folks just left after the Biden inauguration. They said, well, I guess that's not happening. But now those who are waiting for March 4th, I don't know what they'll do when the time comes. Come March 5th, will they still be QAnon people? Will they be looking for something else or will they take to the Capitol and insurrect again? I don't know. But or you know what, Biffy? Maybe you and I will be surprised. Maybe March the 4th, Trump will rise up.
Ain't
Come
happening.
back.
Ain't happening.
You and all people right here say it's going to.
Well,
He could be the next president.
their bubble's going to be burst.
I think you're right. I tell you, his bubble got burst yesterday, and it's being burst every day from the legislature, and that's Wheeling Mayor Glenn Elliott. He's with us next here on the Watchdog Morning Show. It's 8 o'clock.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
The latest COVID vaccine on the verge of emergency use on.
Glenn is next, and Puppet Master, hopefully at 9:10. He's got a committee meeting, but he thinks he can squeeze us in before that, so that's the game plan at least. All right, and we'll see what else happens here. Makes me nervous. I'm getting a sore throat. I hope that's not a sign of anything bad. Yeah, I have to do. Yep, that's a good idea. In fact, that's a great idea. I'm going to get some right now. That's good. Good thinking, Biff. Good thinking. I'm going to do that right now. I'll be back in a minute, and bye.